And thanks for joining us. I'm Anne Marie with you on this Monday at noon. And right now there's a major rally about school funding that's going down at the Indiana State House in downtown Indianapolis. Right now there are hundreds of teachers in attendance for this so-called Day of Action. It's impacting thousands of students as well. That's because some students, including IPS, are now having e-learning today because so many teachers are out of the classroom and they're downtown protesting. Samantha Johnson is live there now talking to some of the demonstrators about what's motivated them so much to come out and march today. Sam?
Well, Anne Marie, you mentioned hundreds of teachers and administrators. I think at the height of all of this earlier this morning, there was well over 1,000 teachers, administrators, parents, and students who came to pack the Indiana State House this morning and afternoon. And like you mentioned, the majority of this surrounding Senate Bill 1, their biggest concern, public funding for public schools. We've heard that time and time again this morning. Most of the demonstrators here today are wearing red for Ed, as they've said for years now. Members of the Indiana State Teachers Association spoke just before 11 o'clock this morning, getting the crowd fired up. Now a lot of people have dispersed to write letters to legislators, many of them making more signs, talking amongst each other about their biggest concerns and what they're hoping for at the end of the day today. We know several schools, like you mentioned, either canceled classes or moved classes online. Pike Township, Monroe County Schools, Union School Corporation also included in that list. We did talk to one Indianapolis math teacher who was holding a sign that said the math isn't mathing. So we asked him about it, and he said the biggest concern from him, he felt like he was better serving his students here at the Indiana State House today rather than in the classroom. So he was posting pictures, keeping his students and their parents updated. That was just one of the several voices we heard from this afternoon and this morning. So what we're going to do tonight on 13 News at 4, our State House reporter Emily Longnecker is here with me today. We're going to break down further the details of Senate Bill 1 and some of the biggest concerns from teachers and administrators here in our state. Then we'll hear more reaction from all the folks who came out today to make sure their voices were heard later tonight on 13 News.
All right, Samantha Johnson reporting live for us downtown. Thank you so much. This morning, a Marion teen admitted to shooting and killing a man inside a gas station convenience store. Zayden Guy was just 13 years old at the time of the shooting. His case is now in adult court. 13 News had a camera in the courtroom this morning when Guy pleaded guilty today to murder, guilty to robbery, and guilty to 2 other felonies. Guy admitted that on March 11th of last year, he went inside that Circle K store with a gun, intending to rob a customer who had a gun in his pocket. Guy admitted that he shot and killed 24-year-old Byron Dennis Jr. and stole his gun. Sentencing now is set for May 20th. Guy is hoping for alternative sentencing as a juvenile, and that may be less than the 45 years minimum in prison for murder. Rich and I will have the testimony from this hearing as our coverage continues here on 13 News throughout the day. Look for it on all of our platforms. We do have the latest now for you on a shooting out of Johnson County this morning. Greenwood police say it happened outside a home near I-65 and Main Street. It all started early this morning around 3 o'clock in the Homecoming subdivision that's on the east side of Greenwood. According to police there, that shooting may have stemmed from an argument between 2 men who knew each other. One of them had pulled a gun and then fired. Right now, that shooting victim is in surgery. The suspected shooter is the owner of the home where this all went down. We're still trying to figure out and piece this all together and learn more from police and if there's anyone in custody. If you know anything about this crime, you're urged to call police as well. This afternoon, an Indianapolis man is now in police custody after a shooting on the west side. Police say this happened just before 7:30 Saturday night along Eisenhower Drive near West 34th Street and Muller Road. At last check, police say the victim in stable condition. Police arrested a 28-year-old man at the scene on a warrant. If you can help solve this case, call IMPD or Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-TIPS. A juvenile in Logansport is now under arrest in connection to two separate incidents, both involving intimidation with a deadly weapon. Police in Logansport say it started with reports of a juvenile with what was believed to be using a real gun. They later learned it was actually an airsoft gun. The juvenile went into custody and is being held on home detention. No other details available right now because the suspect in this case is a minor. A family now is encouraging others to keep their guns stored away safely and away from other kids. This after they lost their little 4-year-old boy. The boy's parents say he found a gun and pulled the trigger just a few months ago. Metro Police say incidents like this are just too common. In fact, our Marina Silver talked to the boy's mom and dad as they mark what would have been their son's 5th birthday.
It's been 8 months since Corian and Gianna got to hug their son.
It's really hard, really just trying to stay strong.
Corian Buds Jr. died in August at age 4. The toddler got a hold of a gun and accidentally shot himself. Sunday would have been his 5th birthday. Even in their continued grief, his family decided to still celebrate his life.
We celebrate him because we're going to forever keep celebrating him.
His mom says it hasn't been easy.
It's getting harder day by day. Like, we ain't going to say it's okay because it ain't going to get better. But we just taking it day by day.
Sadly, this type of loss isn't that rare. IMPD says accidental shootings have been on the rise, especially in juveniles.
An accidental shooting can change the trajectory of life of a child. It can change the trajectory of life of a family.
To date, in 2025, IMPD says the number of juveniles injured in self-inflicted shootings has increased by 167% in 2025. Corian's parents don't own guns. They want to urge people who do, keep your guns away from kids.
People need to be more responsible, you get what I'm saying, about like with their guns, because due to the gun law change, like everybody can carry now, which kind of like sucks with people that got kids and people that got little ones and family members and stuff.
So the tragedy they're dealing with doesn't happen to another family. In Indianapolis, Marina Silva, 13 News.
We're told IMPD still is investigating that shooting, and right now there's no even official word on whose gun it was that the young boy shot himself with. There are no arrests that have been made in this case. Today, IMPD is honoring an officer who died after a cancer battle. This morning, family and friends came together to celebrate the life of Officer Anderson Vilma. This is all going down at Crown Hill Cemetery. A procession then will go to East District headquarters for a final 1042 call this afternoon. Then it will circle back to Crown Hill for the officer's burial. This will impact traffic on several streets throughout Indianapolis. If you'd like to see a closer look at the route that they'll be taking and the closures that may be happening, we have it for you right now if you go to our website at WTHR.com. 12:08. Let's turn now to the forecast. It is Monday. We're seeing a mix of sun and clouds this Monday. And any chance for rain on the horizon?
You know, there's a real slight chance, and it's pretty far to the southeast of the metro area here. So I think most of us in pretty good shape. I just want our friends to North Vernon, maybe Columbus. Little pop-up later today, though. But pretty quiet for us. Yeah. Getting ready for a cool down, though, as we go into tomorrow here. Let's show you how this plays out over the next 24 hours. So you can see what's happening right now. Temperatures are near 70 degrees. It's a mix of sunshine and cloud cover over central Indiana right now. Little weak boundary sneaking through the area. Temperature-wise, everyone's pretty much in the same boat. So it's hard to find the front right now on that particular map. But as we look at the moisture content around central Indiana, you can see these dry dew points of 35 in Lafayette, 39 in Indy, and then it gets into the 50+ range. So there's a little more moisture with a weak front, little daytime heating, and you can see that zone of severe weather potential very far to the southeast. However, we'll keep an eye out on Columbus, maybe North Vernon, Osgood, perhaps a quick-moving thunderstorm. Most of anything that develops should be out of the state by about 6 or 7 o'clock. Tomorrow will be breezy and is going to be much colder than today. How low we're going to go ahead in your 7-day forecast here in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Sean. We'll check that. Now Let's check this out. Dozens of young men are now celebrating. They're graduates of a program that prepares them for a successful future. 100 Black Men of Indianapolis celebrated its 39th annual scholarship program yesterday. Matthew Foltz was one of the MCs in attendance. This is an event that highlights months of work put in by these young men, mentorship and life skills to use in the real world after they graduate from high school.
We look at the village concept. So we think that there are multiple paths to success, but one of those paths to success is making sure you surround yourselves with like-minded individuals.
Each senior received a grant for college, with the highest achiever getting over $50,000 in scholarship funding. You can learn more about this program, how to engage and support, right now at WTHR.com.